if everyone's here. Okay.
Yeah, we would rather
Okay.
start on time. Okay, so let me start first introducing myself. This is Mahmoud Ghaz from Agile Club. And as you all know, Agile Club's mission is to create community that gather people around knowledge. In Agile Club, we believe in Kaizen, which is a continuous improvement, and it's better to be achieved through a collective mind within a strong community and powerful ecosystem. We are gathering people interested in Agile software development. That's why we started an online event sponsored by VitScholar. So we can invite coaches and trainers from all over the world to support us in our mission. Let me first introduce Altug, our today's speaker. Altug is the founder of Agile Kanban Istanbul. He's an expert in managing successful and cost-effective technology development. With his blend of technical, managerial, and operation expertise, he effectively combined the theory and practice of Agile and Kanban Method to deliver business results. As a Lean Kanban University accredited Kanban trainer, Kanban coach professional, and avid expert Kanban practitioner since 2014. Altug puts Lean principle to work every day when managing complex software projects. He has been one of the leading evangelist of Kanban in his native Turkish and has published Kanban book. Also, Altug is the founder for the Kanban, Agile Kanban Istanbul International Business Agility event. Before we start, we would like to thank VitScholar for our sponsor. VitScholar is training and consultancy service providing an IT and network domain with head office in Dubai. VitScholar serves companies across the Middle East and Africa by providing innovative training solution and consultancy service, helping customers in boosting their own capacities, enhancing their workflow, and breeding a skilled workforce. Thank you, Altug. You may take the lead.
Okay, thank you very much. Hello, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank to all Agile Club of Egypt for this webinar. So here we start. So today's topic is scaling Kanban with domain storytelling. And today I will talk about two different things, the Kanban and scaling Kanban and domain storytelling. So these are two different things, but I will combine them in order to solve scaling problem. So the first question is why scaling is hard with Kanban or not? So scaling it means agility, using agile methods all around the organization. So in order to reach organizational agility state, you have to scale Kanban because Kanban fits everywhere very effectively because it is lightweight, but also it is hard. I will talk about this. So why organization agility is important? Because organization agility is an ability for an organization to renew itself, adapt, change quickly, and succeed in rapidly changing for like this turbulent environment. So yes, here we start. A little information about myself. I am originally from software engineer. I am and from I'm the founder of Agile Kanban Istanbul. This is my alumni, and from 2010 I became a lean thinker, and from 2013 I'm aggregate Kanban trainer. Yes, the first question is, the problem is how to apply Kanban to all around organization, especially to the upstream. By the way, I assume that you already know about Kanban basics. If not, you can ask me a question and I can stop and explain more deeply at that point. But also I will talk about basics because Kanban is very simple, by the way. Kanban is just set of practices and principles, just like that. You can apply it anywhere. And yes, here we go. So just for reminder, I just want to talk about the principles. There are two types of principles. One of them is change management principles. It's a set of principles, and there are three principles in it. One of them is, as we start with what you do now. It's very simple. If you break it down, there are two items. First one is understanding the current process and as actually practice. This is very important. Today I will show lots of items about this principle, because understanding the current process means understanding the domain. Okay, domain is very important. And also respect existing roles and responsibilities. I know in Kanban there are some emerging roles, but they are not necessary. So if you start Kanban, the Kanban respect existing roles and processes. The second principle is evolutionary change. There is no revolution approach. So in Kanban, we are going step by step. It's very simple, and we are trying to first diagnose the problem, then apply the treatment. And the second principle is encourage acts of leadership at all levels. It's very important because we are in very complex domain, in complex territory now, every company. So no one can, no leader, no CEO say that just do it because I want it like that. We need everyone. We need everyone to contribute that problems. So we have to encourage leadership at all levels. This is very simple. Also, I want to show, so what's the meaning of change management, by the way? Change management means your organization is from point A now, and you want to go to point B. So Kanban can make this for you. Kanban can help you. So because maybe most of you just know that Kanban just a Kanban board. No, Kanban also is a change management method. The second group is service delivery principle. Also, there are three simple principles. First one is understand and focus on customer needs. What does it mean? It means agility. So customer first, and so we have to understand the value streams. I will show in a minute. The second is manage the work. Let workers self-organize around it. It means don't make micromanagement. It's very clear. And the third one is regularly review network and its policies to improve outcomes. Very simple. And just look at the core practices, just 6 core practices. Very, very simple. Visualize. Kanban board, for example. Limit work in progress. Very, very simple. Manage the flow. Very simple. Make policies explicit. It's not very hard. Implement feedback loops. Very simple. And improve collaboratively, evolve experimentally. Maybe this item a little bit tricky. You can use Toyota Kata, for example, but all of them is understandable. So Kanban is like that. Kanban is just this these 6 principles and 6 practices. That's it. So, but why applying Kanban is so hard? Or how can we apply Kanban all around organizations? So the trick is Kanban is not so hard. Kanban is easy, but understanding the domain is very hard. So at that point, I want to introduce you domain storytelling, which is there is no relationship between Kanban and this one. This domain storytelling is a tool to discover the domain. And you can, because understanding the domain is very tricky, it's not very easy. For example, if you are working with health sector, you have to understand their language, health. If you go to finance, you have to understand the domain language of the finance. You have to understand domain experts. So in order to decompose this domain language, you can use domain storytelling. So this is my formula. For example, assume that you are a consultant, a Kanban consultant or Agile consultant. You just step into a company and your task is to move the organization from point A to point B. They want to be more agile. So this is the 3 simple steps. First, learn the new domain language. Okay, this is the rule 1. So to accomplish this, you can use domain storytelling. The second one, why it is useful, because if you record the domain language in a pictographical way, it is very easy for you and for the others. So you can just understand the domain very easily. So if you understand the domain easily, you can just create the value streams very easily. So what is pictographical language? So you are Egyptian, so I think you can understand it very well from all of us. And so pictographical language is very simple. So you just drawing, you are using symbols in order to understand something to other side. Okay, so and it's visual, of course, or it's very effective way to understand the hard problems. So because value streams or the domain language are complicated things. So they're very simple. 5 items. First of all is domain stories. There are actors. These are actors, one person, team, or a system. We represent, we will use these symbols as actor or more, okay? And this is work objects, for example, an email, a dialogue, a file. You can represent those work object like this symbols. Very, very simple. And there's activities, we are using arrows, and some annotation because some business rules you have to write them. So we use annotations. It's very simple. So like this, for example, actors, for example, waiters, for example, SAP HRM module is an actor, or the architectural team is an actor, or work objects, deliver a note, chat, dialogue, email, phone, receipt. These are the work objects. These are just some sample. Or activities, for example, just arrow, for example, asks for, returns, requests, or assumptions. As I mentioned, you can use annotation. I will show you in a minute. Okay, you can use this concept of domain storytelling. You can just use sticky notes and a flip chart, for example, like this. Or I will show a software. You can also use a software. For example, we are working remotely, so a software tool is more effective than this one for this era. But it's very simple. You are just mapping the domain onto board like this. Okay, again, how to apply Kanban to all around organization, especially to upstream. What's the meaning of upstream? Upstream means, for example, the middle management or at C-level, because we have to apply Kanban to the highest possible point. So it's the rule. Okay, please try to apply Kanban not only team level, try to apply Kanban on highest level possible. So this is the solution. First, understand the domain by domain storytelling. Okay, decompose or just discover the domain. Step 2, find the value streams. I will show you what this means, and transform the value streams into Kanban system or onto Kanban board by static. So anyone heard about static? Static? Static means it's very basic. So static system thinking approach to introducing Kanban. There are 8 steps, but in a summary, static is, as a summary, it means first diagnose, then treatment phase. For example, you're applying, if you want to introduce a team with Kanban, first step is you have to apply the static onto team. What does it mean? It means that you start asking this. First, you have to understand what makes the service fit the purpose. It means where this team or department want to go. What do they want to achieve? So the second question is understand the source of dissatisfaction regarding the current delivery. So we are trying to find the problem, okay? So the step 3 is analyze the sources of and nature of demand. We are still trying to find the solution. We are gathering data. Step 4, analyze the current delivery capability. Again, we need data. We are trying to understand the current situation here. Diagnosing phase. And 5 is model the service delivery workflow. 6, identify and define class of services. And the step 6 is end of the diagnosing process. And from this step, the step 7 is we are trying to put a treatment. Okay, and then step 8 is socialize and negotiate the implementation. Static is not a one shot. You have to do it iteratively. Okay, in order to understand or in order to make the team comfortable. So the first, just one iteration won't help the team. So you have to do it iteratively. Okay, so we talk about Kanban principles, Kanban practices, and static briefly. So now I will show you a coordination level Kanban board. This is a solution, by the way. What's the meaning of coordination level? Means if you want to orchestrate more than one team, okay, so you can use a coordination level Kanban. Okay, so this Kanban board belongs to a car release company. But the question is, how did we create this board? How? As you can see, there are lots of things, and like there's a domain language here. Like turn off the car, calculate resale value, payback, prepare for resale, risk. These languages are belongs to that domain. So of course you can just start with to do doing done, but it is not enough. So you have to reflect domain language onto Kanban board. It's very effective. If you can do that, you can scale the Kanban all over the organization. But before reaching that situation, you have to do something else. I will show. So start step by step. For example, this is a sample board for the risk team. This operational level Kanban. It means this Kanban board belongs to only this team, risk team. But as you can see, this is the language of this risk team. Not there's a to-do doing done or something else. For the calculate resale value, decide. All the board is designed according to this domain. How did we do this? The problem is this, or just did this Kanban board. There are 1 to 3 swim lanes here. The features are coming, bugs are coming, kaizens are coming, and these are the work states. Okay, how did we reach that Kanban board? The question is this, how? Step by step. So I will explain. For example, this is project level Kanban. This picture is taken from practical Kanban book, class Leopold. This is a project level Kanban. What does it mean? It means that ideas transform to epic and then transforms to release, okay, from end to end. And by the way, this is upstream, okay? This is development, and before the development, there are lots of ideas, epics, and new epics. So this is upstream, okay? So in that, this is a good example because we apply this Kanban all over the organization, all over the project organization, I can say. But for example, there are 20 development teams. These development teams, maybe they can use Scrum in their own team management. It doesn't matter. We are applying Kanban in the project level, high level. So it is very valuable if you look at the situation. Okay, value streams. What is the meaning of value stream? For a very simple a picture from, again, practical Kanban class, but also this is not a fully, you cannot see a value chain, but you can see a diagram of all the states. For example, business and marketing teams just came with the first idea. Then after specifying the idea, there are 2 teams, two departments are contributing to specifying the idea. After then, 10 development teams contributing to these stages. This is very high level, by the way, project level. And in these phases, IT operation teams and testing teams, quality teams are contributing at these phases. And at the end, we are user acceptance test. Again, these guys are contributing, they are testing what is going on. And if everything is okay, the product or the feature or story delivered to the release. Okay, as you can see, you can map this value stream into a Kanban board at project level. So roughly there are 3 levels of Kanban. First, operation level, coordination level, and portfolio level. You can assume project level as portfolio level, for example. Yeah, you can do it. So find the actors, find the relation. Okay, so in Kanban, the service term, this term is very, very important. You have to look at every situation with service lens. So what is service? What is service? Service, you can divide it into 2 sections. First, there are service providers, and on the other side, there's service consumers, 2 sides. So what I mean that in order to scale Kanban, we have to find out what kind of relation does team have. For example, one-to-one relation, one team gives one service, or one-to-N, one team gives multiple services, or multiple team give one service, or multiple team give multiple services. Let's go to examples. Just this example is one-to-one. Okay, this is the board of a team. This is the final product. This is the operational level Kanban. There's the backlog. It is infinite. This is in progress. This is the commitment point. And this is the commitment point. And this is expedite line in progress. Test done. It's very simple. But before generating this Kanban board, first step is we have to understand the domain and we have to create a value stream. This is the value stream. Okay, customers request work item. This fly means the work item just arriving into our system, and we have one team, and this one team just they are giving one service to their customer. What is that? It is operation service. What does it mean? For example, first level support or second level support or some kind of support. It's very simple. So mapping means if you map the activities onto Kanban board, it's meaningful. Now you can reflect the domain knowledge onto Kanban board, but it's very simple. Okay, so let's go to a complicated one. Yes. If you have any question, please ask me. I'm checking if I chats. Yes. Any questions so far? I think no. Also, I'm watching the chat screen. Yes, one to N. This is one team gives more than one service. What does it mean? It means like this. This scenario is Microsoft XIT team. If you read Blue Book, or David Anderson's Blue Book, you can read the story. There is no value stream picture on the book. So I just draw it with domain storytelling. As you can see, these are actors, product managers, developers, testers, but they are just one team. Also, there's another actor in the system, product manager. Also, there's end user. And at the end of this value stream, there are two services are given by this team. One team, just they are giving two services to their customers. What are they? Customers are getting change request service, and customers are getting PTC service. I mean, production text change, no need for coding, for example, just editing HTML pages. This is non-programming issues. But this is the value stream, okay? Just step one is coming, the second step, the developers just pulling it and commit it, blah, 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 it's coming like that. So if you look at what is the meaning of value stream, so this is the value stream. Okay, as you can see, this is one value stream for that service, and this is the second value stream. Then it makes sense. Now I can map those activities onto Kanban board. What does it mean? This is the final product, but how did we reach that Kanban board? This is, yes, the answer is like this. Okay, so first, change request. I map the change request here, and after that, the second is here, third, 4, 8, yes, and the other one. Because we have these teams, they are giving two services. We just use a civil line in order to distinguish between the services. And yes, this is here. It's very, you can see it's very effective and it's very simple to reflect the domain language onto Kanban board. Also, you can do it of course, with to do doing done, but it will not be effective. Okay. Also, it's not very hard. Any questions so far? Commitment point. Yeah, there is a question from chat bar. What is the commitment point? What is the commitment point? Commitment point is for example, in that situation, the input queue is the commitment point. What does in the change request, for example, in here, this is options. And if the developer team, okay, if they commit, it will go here. And all this commitment point starts after the backlog. So backlog is not a the backlog is option, ideas. Commitment points start in input queue. Yes. Okay. Now give another example. Multiple teams give one service. Okay. So, but before we start, I want to share with you a script and history of or a story about leasing company, leasing car company. So if we go and if you write all the flow, all the domain like this, yeah, it's very valuable, but it is not effective because you cannot see the actors, relationships, work objects, and you cannot decompose it. You cannot discover. It's very hard to discover, by the way. Yeah, of course you can, but instead of this, you can use domain storytelling. I will show you in a minute, but before this is the final product. So assume that you just step into a company, a car lease car company, and they want to use Kanban. Okay, how would you start? It's very simple. First, you have to understand the domain. Then you will create, or you will draw, or you will discover the value streams. After that, you will map the knowledge on the Kanban board. So this Kanban board is coordination level. As I mentioned, why? Because in this Kanban board, we are orchestrating different teams. But how did we create this Kanban board? Here is the steps, but before go that, please don't forget this. Apply Kanban highest level possible, coordination level or portfolio level. Yeah, it means that please push your C-level guys to use Kanban. It's very important. Okay, before trying to identify value streams or workflows, first understand the domain. Here is the domain. So yes, this domain, this graphical picture, like this, yes, I transformed this text into this picture. What does it mean? So there's only one service. What's the name of the service? Is leasing company, leasing a car. But for leasing a car, there are lots of teams or departments are working in order to do that. So the customer, they just want to tell something to sales, and sales just sign something, and they're calculating the value of the car, and the sales team sent this person this contract to the risk department. Risk department just calculate the person risk. They are just after decide if they have to give the car to the customer or not. Lots of processes. Okay, so in here there are two value streams like this. If you draw or if you discover the domain with domain storytelling, if you discover the steps like this, if you can see, I don't know, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps, you can map the steps on the Kanban board very easily. By the way, this is coordination level Kanban. Why? Because in here there are sales team, risk team, and repair team. They are working on just one coordination level Kanban board in order to give car leasing service to the customer. This is 1 to N relation. Okay, this is coordination level. As you can see, risk team, they are contributing to here. Sales team, they're contributing to these areas to, for example, calculating monthly installments, turn the car, calculate resale value and back pay, and payback pays, and prepare for sale. Repair team, just they're contributing to prepare resale. And you're like that, you can coordinate 3 teams easily on this coordination level. By the way, it's not a software, it's like a business. So for example, you can ask why the waiting is infinite, because according to Kanban, using an infinite size is acceptable, but it is the showing of immaturity. But according to the domain, we have to use it like that because the domain just shows the way here. Okay. But maybe in the future, you can just set a number here. But at the first level, you have to put the infinite because you don't know the number of the cars on the ground, on the customers. Okay, so it's very important. Risk team gives risk service. Sales team gives sales service. Developer teams give developer service. Everything is a service. Okay, repair and clean team gives repair and cleaning service. But you have to understand this as a one end-to-end relation. So what kind of relation is that? First, you have to understand this. Okay, now just zoom in to risk team. So this is coordination level, but this is operational level. So risk team has their own Kanban, their own processes. So this process is just we created this board by the domain knowledge. So how did we discover the domain? Of course, by using domain storytelling. As you can see, there are 1, 2, 3 actors. These actors are software system, rating agency, and risk management systems are not human. They are a player in the system. And also there's a risk team. There are some internal business steps. For example, fill out the credit rating form, generates a credit PDF. They all enter the data into risk management system, and they are just voting. And end of the process, they are deciding. So as you can see, all the domain knowledge, now we are map the knowledge, domain knowledge onto Kanban board. Okay, like this. After that, we can apply continuous improvement techniques. If there's a waste in the process, we can exactly see, and we just want to, we can coach the team about the next target condition. But first, we have to identify the current status, current condition. Okay, this is the current Kanban board of the risk team. But I want to mention that risk team gives risk service. Okay, end to end. This is the story of a software department. This is again a text script, but in the text script there is some details. For example, software development team supports this team just developing a software and giving support of software. And customers are HR, finance, and marketing departments. As a software development and support department, they are working on projects for finance department. Also, they are giving change requests and change requests for HR and marketing departments. Also, there are some bugs and there are some kaizens, blah, blah, blah. So this is not enough to identify the value stream. So you have to, in order to create like such a Kanban board, first you have to understand the domain, then you have to create, you have to put the value stream on the table, then map the value stream on the Kanban board. Here is the value stream. There are 1, 2, 3 type of customers, and this is our team, team 1, analyst team, development team, architecture team, test team, and the deployment team. We are talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 teams are working on a value stream in order to generate 2 kinds of services. The one services, they are giving software development service for finance, HR, and marketing departments. And the other services, HR, they are giving a software support operations service for HR and marketing. And this is the value stream. Details are not important for now, but if you can see the value stream, it's enough. Now, it's very easy to map the value stream onto Kanban board with the domain knowledge. So we are coordinating all these 5 teams onto one Kanban board. By the way, this development team can use Scrum in their own, or this analyst team can use Kanban in team level. This doesn't matter. Okay. Yes. Yes, coordination level. Why we are named it coordination level? Because we are orchestrating more than one team, and there's only one value stream, and with the 3 work item types, and we know every detail. So the agility means the coordinate the relationship between the teams, not the team itself. This team maybe can use Kanban in their own. It doesn't matter. The matter is, the most important part is the relationship between the teams. Because if the relationship between the teams is not good, then there is no customer satisfaction. Yes. Yes, again, analyst team giving analyst services, architectural team gives architectural services, blah, blah, blah. Every team is giving some sort of service. So in Kanban, the service team is very tricky. So it's very important. So solution, again, I want to remind you, understand the domain, okay, with domain storytelling technique. So domain story technique, by the way, is developed in Hamburg University in 1980s. So it's very old, it's quite old. And it is just, so software developers are using this technique very much because they are always developing something for different domains. They have to understand the domain quickly. So it's a very effective way because you can understand the relationship between the actors and you can understand the work objects. So it's very valuable. So if you understand the domain, you can just put the value stream. So if you put the current value stream on the table, so you can see the waste on the table, okay? So after the state, you can just apply continuous improvement techniques. But the first step is then apply static. So in the static, there is 8 steps, but step 0 is understand the domain. Step 0 is about understanding the domain. So Kanban doesn't say anything about understanding the domain. It is just up to you. But in here, you can apply domain storytelling for a healthy one. So end-to-end. So end-to-end, or the other name is...
Hello, I'm sorry
Yes.
for interruption. We have a question from Ahmed Saeed. He's asking, is it similar to Safe Train?
Yes, it is similar, but also, as I mentioned, Safe takes Kanban in order to scale. Yes, Safe uses Kanban, so it is similar because they are using Kanban at their core. Also, Scrum is using Kanban for scaling. If you go to scrum.org, they have a section about Kanban. So if you want to coordinate the teams, or if you want to apply, if you want to control your portfolio, so in that current status, Kanban is the only and the best solution. Ahmed said, it's okay? Yes, it's similar because Safe is using Kanban. The second question is, recommend Kanban software tool which makes it easy and drag and drop sticky notes. Yes, I will recommend at the end of the session. Okay. But I can say it right now, there are two major software products. One of them is Swift Kanban, and the other one is Kanbanize. Okay. I will just mention their website. Okay,
Hello.
where are the...
Hello. Hi, Altug. This is Sadik. How are you?
Fine, thanks.
Can I ask a short question about...
Sadik, and end of
yes.
please, if you write the question on the chat screen, it will be great. Okay, please write the question on chat screen.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, now value streams and shared services. So shared services is very dangerous because you have to control them very under your control. In here, there are lots of teams. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4 customers. Okay, public relation department, finance, HR, marketing department. They're requesting something. If you see this flight, it means that the new items are arriving into our system. And also there are analyst team, architectural team, deployment team, and development team, test team. They are giving services, but they are shared service. So at the end of this value stream, there are 3 services that customer gets. For example, in finance, HR, and meeting departments, they are getting software development service, production tech services are getting by PR service, HR and marketing departments, they are getting software support. But this is very complicated, okay? So as you can see, this is the value streams. Also, there's a quality department. Okay, and if you just look at the left bottom side, so they are getting another service from architectural team. So we are 1, 2, 3, 4 kind of value stream here. So what is the meaning of shared service? Shared service means there are different Kanban boards all around the company, and they are giving services around it. So in order to control that, we have to apply different cadences, means meetings, in order to coordinate them. But for example, if you open a room, for a big room in the company, for obeya in Japanese, you can just take all these Kanban boards, or you can do it electronically. You can just see which teams are contributing to which Kanban board, on which column, on which state. So this is like that, and thank you for attending my session. Yes, now I can accept questions. Yeah, by the way, I will show you Kanban tools. One of them is Civic Kanban. Civic Kanban, yes, this one. Yes, you can use this. The one is Kanbanize. Kanbanize, yes. And also, I want to show you this modeler. So if you want to use domain storytelling online in the browser, it's an open source, by the way, but you can just use this domain storytelling on vps.d. But also you can just set up the software onto your own computer. Now I'm writing the URL of this modeler. Okay, this is Civic Kanban. This is just it's very effective and simple tool. This organized. You can how can I say, apply every domain. It's very elastic. You can use you can make whatever you want in the Civic Kanban. Also, Kanbanize is very good. You can automate Monte Carlo simulations and other forecasting techniques. You can use this. I think this model is not working right now, but it should work. Also, there's a the software is open source. You can go to GitHub and you can just clone the software, and it's just a JavaScript. It's a simple project. Yes. The question is from Dina. How do you prioritize and manage dependencies on the various Kanban boards across the teams, especially if dev teams, for instance, are using Scrum also? So in prioritization also, it depends on the company. So in order to prioritize, I cannot say anything because it belongs to this company policy, but just I can advise cost of delay. Yes, cost of delay, this side. Yes, cost of delay. You can use this technique in order to prioritization. Also, I'm copying and I'm just writing to chat. Also, domain storytelling is just like the software. Just you can drag and drop the actors and work objects and other thing, and you can just combine. It's very simple. You are just drawing by using symbols, so it's very effective. Okay. Any other questions? Sadik, where are you? Now you can ask if you want. Yes, Ahmed, thank you for presentation and sharing all in-term scaling with different teams, with difference of the different. SAFe is a framework, okay? SAFe is just advice, lots of things. For example, in SAFe, For SAFe, they are just advising you to use, for example, behavior-driven development. So they're taking the best parts of everything and just try to combine in a package. But in Kanban, it is not like that. So in that particular case, SAFe is using Kanban in their own core about scaling. But Kanban doesn't say anything about how to make a prioritizing, for example, or if you have to use, for example, behavior-driven development or not. Okay, so Kanban's focus is just to improve your project or improve your current process. So it's a management approach. So the main difference is like this, Ahmet. Yes, from Sadik, the question, for multiple team, one project, how can build coordination board? Yes, how? This is a very good question, Sadik. If you open my microphone, you can, I think, open your microphone. Okay, your question is very clear. This, I think I showed it to you, but again, there are 3 steps, Sadik. First of all, understand the domain by using domain storytelling. Then find and discover the value streams. And third step is apply static. Okay.
Altug, hi. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I especially wonder about the teams. Some teams work in Kanban, some of them, for example, Scrum. So there are lots of dependency. They could many dependency each other. So the one board, coordination board, we can build in epic or feature level or story level. How can we be built? I try to understand.
Okay. Let me give you an example on this. One moment. Okay, I will show you a live example if I log into Civic Kanban. And by the way, I can answer another question. How to manage a parallel activities in Kanban board? Example, UX team in parallel with system analyst or architect team, parallel user stories. Yes, I think this Civic Kanban will answer all the questions. Omnia, yes, I think. Okay, Ahmet Said asks, sorry for the basic questions. No problem, Ahmet. Could you please elaborate on the key difference between the Scrum and the Kanban? The key difference is Scrum principles and the Kanban principles are totally different, okay? Totally different. So as I mentioned, the Kanban have 3 principles. So in the basic, the Kanban works in flow, but Scrum is working on iteration. This is the basic difference. But also Kanban is Scrum is very strict. So there are certain roles and certain processes, but in Kanban, it is very elastic. One moment, I'm trying to find the Kanban boards, all in one. It's like this. My boards, yes, I think I found, yes. Yes. Can you see my screen? Okay. So this is a simple and sample of a project level Kanban board, but there are 3 levels. You can see 3 levels, okay? These are for initiative. Initiative means big projects, okay? The C level you can see in the initiative, the big projects, okay, the C-level managers they focus on this area, okay, but it's a very big idea. So as you can see, there are some percentage like this, okay, so these percentages are very closely related with the below teams. In here, for example, there's a UX team, and there's a Scrum team, and there is a Kanban team, and there's a Epic level. So everything is combined each other. So if I move, for example, this feature onto done, you can see that on the up level, there's something is moving to the right side. So this is portfolio level, and this Epic is coordination level. And for example, a team by its own, for the Scrum team like this, the team by its own, they can use Scrum in the inside. But in the big picture, if you look at the situation from 20,000 from upside, you have to look in that level. But if you go to coordination level, you will see something another. And if we go to team level, for example, UX team, maybe they are using nothing. Maybe they can use extreme programming, or they are Scrum. But the most important thing is how can you combine this story with the feature and with the Epic and with the initiative? It's very important. Okay, another question. I hope this will be answered for Sadik and for Omnia. Yes, another question. Kanban goal to make the project activities more visible and managing maximum concurrent activities of a team at the time. Yes, work in progress, you can do it, as you are right. However, could we use it also track the loops between the different steps, such as developer fix bugs and tester resubmit defects, how many resubmitted, how much time is quit develops? Yes, this is a metric, for example, this is a quality metric in Kanban. So if, for example, you assume that you fix it, but this bug will just come to you like a boomerang. So you can just measure it, but this is all about measurement. Yeah, it's a metrics about, you can do it, yes. But this is operational level metric. Okay, this is team, and team is just working on, you are just dividing a big project into Epic, then Epic into features, then features in, like in Scrum team, just working on stories. But the most important thing, can I show it like that? If I can, yes, I think I show the relation. Yes, I hope I can. Cards, it's not like this. Come board. For example, this initiative also, you can open an account in Suit Kanban and you can examine, you can just make experiment on these boards. This is building, this board is coming to you by default. So you can play it, but I just want to show you the relationship between the cards, but it's not showing. Okay. No matter, but you can see the relationship between Epic, story, feature, story, or blah, blah. But I cannot find right now. Who should better use electronic tool at the coordination level? I guess support or classic. So in this COVID-19 era, using a classic board is not possible. Also, who should better use electronic tool? You can use like this coordination level. It's pretty simple. In this electronic tools also, they are calculating your metrics automatically. So the advantage of this board is very, very much, but For example, if you go to office tomorrow, so you have to just use a monitor to reflect the metrics or just reflect the current situation, so people can see this board every time. This is very important. So classic boards advantages is it's on the board and everyone can see it, the board every time. So it motivates the people. So the leadership just emerge. So these electronic boards are very powerful, but if you don't open them, it's not good. So you have to use something monitor or something like that. So make it visible. Any questions? While I'm searching it, if I find any questions so far? There are lots of good features that suit Kanban is really very elastic. You can use whatever you want. And if you can just scale and scale out, okay, multiple teams in just one page, it is very effective. Scrum teams, coordination level, Kanban teams. So it's very important how, what's the level of your Kanban? Is operation level or coordination level or portfolio level? Also, I want to mention that it's very hard to apply Scrum in coordination level, or it's very hard to apply Scrum on portfolio level because there are lots of departments in here, so everyone is working in a different way, but Kanban is very lightweight, so it's very big possibility to apply Kanban for different departments, different teams all over the organization. Of course, if you want to reach agility state. So also I want to mention that, so one team, for example, assume that in that example, just one team, they are just using Scrum or Kanban at team level, for example, which, for example, yes, for example, in here. Okay, so just this team. So if just sales team, if they use Kanban or Scrum, just this team, it is not good for the whole of the organization because local optimization bring global sub-optimization. The most important thing is relationships. This is agility. Okay, if sales team can talk with risk team easily and this repair team, this is very valuable. So if you look at the situation from the team point, it is no huge value. Okay, so please look at the relationships, not the team itself. Kanban or Scrum, it doesn't matter. But if you coordinate it, it matters. Coordinate with Kanban. Okay. Any questions? Okay, thank you very much for attending my webinar. If you
I'm sorry, I got this. Yeah, thank you very much, Altug, for your time and your presentation. Can we just open the our cameras to have the group photo? Can you just open your camera? Hello. Okay. So, Amr, are you going to take the photo?
Yes. Can you see me? Everything is okay?
I think
Oh.
everyone's already in the photo now.
You're welcome.
Yeah. We can see you. Yeah. Okay. Thank you everyone for being here. Thank you for your time. Thank you, Altug, for your presentation. It was a great. It was a great presentation. Okay.
Thank you.
We will send the recording